Hey everybody, it's your favorite Basterd. Today we're going to be doing some classic American style spaghetti. Got some noodles, got some marinara sauce in a jar or jug, whatever the hell you want to call it. And we also got some sausage out of view right now. So some people might be wondering, hey, what kind of marinara should I be buying? I'm just going to say go buy whatever the hell is cheap and available, especially if you can get it in a larger quantity like this, because I like having leftover sauce. In regards to noodles, I like my noodles thick. So fettuccine, linguine, thick spaghetti, bucatini. I've even done spaghetti with udon noodles before. Comes out great. So some people will say, hey, it's not spaghetti unless you're using spaghetti noodles. And I say, we don't need that kind of negativity in our lives. Okay, so to get things started, we're going to start with the sauce. Got a kind of wide but somewhat shallow pan here. And we have it just warm, not hot, warm. And we have just a little bit of olive oil in there. Just enough to sort of coat the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and dump in our marinara carefully, just to avoid things splattering. And I recommend you hang on to this jug just in case. Alright, now I recommend you have your burner or your stovetop on a low or warm setting, at least initially. We want to bring this up to temp. We want it warm for serving, but we don't want to get it hot. We don't want it to be boiling. We don't want to have this sort of scalding burnt ring around the rim of the saucepan. That's no good. Now, one of the reasons I said to just buy whatever marinara you have available and whatever cheap is because you can do a lot to this marinara at home once you have it out. For instance, I got this Happy Belly Italian seasoning. This is Amazon's store brand. It's pretty good for the price. If you have Amazon Prime, might be something to consider. We're going to be pretty generous with this. And of course, stir it in. Okay, camera didn't want to turn on, but I added a very generous tablespoon of some chopped garlic to this. So we're just going to mix that in. Now I have some ground fennel and aniseed. I'm going to add that in as well. And whatever spices you think or you know you'd like in your marinara, whatever kind of flavors you enjoy, feel free to add them. I'm obviously not covering anything here. If you want your sauce to be kind of spicy, go for some red pepper. And again, just give it a good stir, not too vigorously. You don't want it spilling or splattering. And we're just gonna set this on the back burner on a low setting while we cook the rest of the meal. Okay, so now moving on to the meat. We got some mild Italian sausage in front of us. This is just some basic ass Italian sausage you can get at any store. Now, what I did prior was I actually boiled these until they were this uniform color and firm. So you can see in the center, they're still pretty pink. That's okay, because we're going to cook them a second time. You're probably thinking this is a little weird, and admittedly, yeah, boiling meat is weird, but again, these things are protected in a casing. The meat inside is still going to taste fine, especially since we're going to give it a fry. Also, one benefit you get is you get all this leftover sausage you can just chuck in your fridge, and you can pull it out whenever you want to snack. Alright, so what we're going to be doing for this particular dish is cutting these into little medallions, and we're going to fry them in a pan. So we're going to do sort of a diagonal cut here, just to get a nice, wider, large surface area. Okay, we got our sausage cut up and ready. Let's move it over to the pan. Okay, we got our sausage in a hot pan. They're going to go pretty darn quick because they're already halfway cooked. So just keep a close eye on. Okay, about halfway in, we're just going to add some garlic cloves that I didn't throw into the sauce earlier. They're big enough that they shouldn't burn or cook too quickly with the sausage here, so just going to give that sausage a little of that garlic flavor. Alright, hopefully it's coming through on the camera here. We got some nice char kind of on the ring or the rim there. So I think these guys are ready to be pulled and added to the sauce. So it can be tricky to separate that sausage from the oil or fat. Do the best you can, of course, and then add it to your sauce. Give it a stir to incorporate it in there. And now let's move on to the noodles. Okay, we got a medium-sized pot here. I added just a little bit of olive oil. Idea for that is when you add your noodles, it's going to prevent them from sticking to each other, or at least will help. So, with noodles, there's never a right answer as to how much you're supposed to cook, especially with these big boys. So I generally go with 1/4 to 1/3 of the package if I'm cooking for myself. Probably wondering, hey, how are you going to cook these big noodles in this little pot? Well, I'm going to show you. Of course, you add the noodles to the pot, you get a fork or similar instrument. As the ends will cook and will soften, they'll start to become malleable, so more of the noodle can fit into the pot. You just got to work with them. Alright, so as you can see here, all the noodles are in here. So just give it time and patience. Eventually they will fit in there. And of course, still periodically come back with your fork or whatever instrument you have. Give things a stir, move things around, just so the noodles are not sticking to each other or sticking to the bottom. So that's not fun. Okay, so decent way to tell if pasta is done. It's just use whatever tool you got and pull the sample out. Give it a feel. Also, put it in your mouth, give it a taste. And with that, you can decide if it's ready or not. This could probably go another minute or two. Okay, grab your favorite colander, go ahead and dump your noodles in, just strain out the water from them. And I say let them sit for a minute or two. They'll steam off any excess liquid. That way, when you add your sauce, the sauce doesn't get runny or diluted from the water. One thing I wanted to discuss before we move on to the end here, you're going to have a lot of leftover sauce if you use the same method I did. And that's okay, because personally I like a lot of leftover sauce. That means I just need to warm up some noodles, throw this on it, and I have spaghetti. Pretty quick and simple. This can preserve pretty darn well in your refrigerator or your freezer if you choose to freeze it. That's one reason you may want to keep the jar or jug that it came in. But your jar or jug may not be microwave safe, so move this to a microwave safe container and you have sauce for days. Okay, we went ahead and moved our noodles to a bowl. Nothing fancy or complicated from here. Just get a big old spoon and put down some of your sauce. Let's get a little more sausage on there. One thing I want to point out, so you can see about how much pasta I got in there, and this is how much was left over in the colander. That's about another serving. That's okay though, we can chuck it in our fridge. It'll be leftovers. And now we'll just sprinkle some Parmesan over it. And that's that. Thank you for watching.